Hey everyone, I have an apology to make. In the previous video on this topic, I forgot to include a segment where I talk about how Yoshi's best secondary is Wolf, because it helps with common sorties and Samus. I truly am sorry for this. I understand a lot of people left disappointed, and the words I do and don't say truly have an impact on the world around me. I've done my best to change as a person, and I couldn't possibly imagine who I am now for getting a character like that. I truly apologize and would like to introduce today's sponsor, Raid. Hey, welcome back to a multi-part series where I go down each row of Smash Ultimate's roster and pick out a unique secondary for each character, while trying to give them all relatively distinct answers. If you missed the first row, you can go back and check that out now. Or if you don't care about the Smash 64 characters, feel free to dive in here. Today we're starting with Peach. The two best Peach players in the world, Mutace and Umeki, actually don't have anything resembling a secondary. Mutace has a handful of sets recorded with Palutena, but none of them were during important sets, like playing against Ling's DDD at Patchwork 2023. And meanwhile, Umeki doesn't have a single game among the over 5 years of playing this with anyone other than Daisy, so we're kind of at a dead end for this one. However, looking at Mutace's matchup chart from, 2023? Really? Why is this the most recent one? Whatever. Peach's worst matchups seem to be Sonic, Game & Watch, and Steve. Which sucks, but I think ZSS covers those three fairly well. You miss out on covering Sonic, but that didn't stop Umeki and Mute from both having multiple wins on Sonics. So maybe you can just thug that one out with Peach? Who knows?
Bowser.
So, Bowser, not exactly known for having the best matchup spread in Ultimate. His worst matchups seem to be Kazuya, Steve, Sonic, and Pikachu, which is gonna be a lot to cover with just one character. But my best guess is Corrin. In the original short series, for Bowser, I initially answered Cloud, but I've swapped around my priorities in this. Corrin covers Kazuya, Steve, and Sonic relatively well, even having a moment of being everybody's Sonic counter for half a year. And even if Corrin misses out on Pikachu, shit, it's a lot better than playing Bowser into Pikachu. You can at least do something. I mean, honestly, who even plays Bowser at this point? Hey.
Ice Climbers.
Ices has the kind of bad matchups you'd expect a mid-tier to cover. You know, a top tier here or there, and then, you. Icy's best secondary is Falco, who covers Icy's problem matchups like Cloud, Steve, Joker, Min-Min, and, Belmont's pretty well. Also, yes, Falco does do well into Steve. Don't let the tilde 44% clip convince you otherwise. Having good burst movement, edge guarding, and a move like Shine to break through blocks does a lot for this matchup. Fun fact, in the original series, I answered Min-Min. And I'm surprised I got away with that answer, because it's not only recommending the Ditto, something I hate doing, but it's also just a worse answer than Falco in every way. So that's a lesson for you. Don't be afraid to say something stupid, kids, because even if you do, there's a chance people won't notice.
Sheik.
Covering Steve, Pac-Man, Olimar, and Game & Watch is gonna be a challenge, right? It's Cloud. It's Cloud fucking Strife, everybody. Are you happy? Do you want this answer? It's just Cloud. What do you want me to say? Like, look at this.
Zelda.
For Zelda, we're mainly looking to counter these fast rushdown type characters, like Greninja, Fox, Aegis, and ZSS. And for this, my answer changes yet again. In the original shorts, I said Roy, and quite frankly, I think I zoned in too far on what I would play as a Zelda main, and just picked a character that realistically doesn't help much against most of those characters. My answer now is Snake, being a similar character game plan-wise, focusing on, let's be real here, camping, but also just having the tools to box with characters if need be, unlike Zelda. According to Hertz matchup chart, our worst matchup out of the ones I listed would be Greninja in Even, and honestly, I'm just gonna take it because finding a character for this row of the roster has been genuinely dreadful. Like, who put all the low tiers here? The two prominent Zelda mains who have secondaries are Alo's Fox and Zero Two None's Rob. I opted for neither of those two because, simply put, if I was recommending Fox, I'm recommending the Ditto, and Rob misses out on covering Aegis.
Dr.Mario.
Finding a secondary for Doc is a lot harder than you might think. While he is a low tier, just picking up any easy-to-learn top tier misses out on a few matchups, and the fact that the most recent high-level matchup chart, coming from Bacon, has some interesting takes. Seriously, what do you mean with Rob and Steve and Even? What the fuck? And the fact that the three most prominent Doc players have some wildly different secondaries. Jazar playing Lucas, Sumasudo playing like 6 different characters, and the aforementioned Bacon playing DK? I'm just gonna give it to, Aegis for beating Game & Watch, Cloud, Sonic, and, Rosalina, who was put as -2 while the rest were put in -1.5 for some reason. I don't know. Aegis covers it.
Pichu.
I'm gonna keep it short for this one. Pichu's best secondary is Olimar for beating Snake, Samus, and Yoshi, matchups which Drybee, the current best Pichu, says are all -2 matchups. For some reason though, it seems like the most common answer is me Brawler? I'm not gonna harp on this for too long, I mean, it's a fine enough answer, I just don't get what's so similar about Pichu and me Brawler for both Drybee and Natoru to have secondary brawlers for a moment there.
Falco!
Now, I know that for a majority of these entries we've been discussing top player matchup charts. However, every Falco either wildly disagrees with each other, or is, Matsunabe. Now I could use, I don't know, maybe Tilde's matchup chart, or maybe Masa or Rorikusu, but none of them have made a matchup chart in the past 3 years. So we just kind of have to wing it again on this one. And for that, I just kind of have to say Corrin. Again. Now personally, while I feel like Falco can be solo viable, I just think if you want to avoid Game & Watch and Kazuya, which is fair, I think everyone would want to, Corrin is your best bet. The only prominent Falco main at top level with secondaries is Rorikusu, with both DK and Steve, which is both 2 characters and potentially misses out on Sonic, depending on your thoughts on pro-DK propaganda.
Lucina!
Originally, I wasn't planning on combining these 2 characters. Marth and Lucina play very differently from each other despite being Echo Fighters. And then I saw their matchup charts. Another Aegis suggestion has hit the video. I know I said I was trying to give unique answers for this series, and believe me, that is a goal of mine. But when you're asking me to cover Steve, Sonic, Greninja, and me Gunner, I'm just gonna have to say Aegis a few times. If I say, I don't know, Steve, I'm missing out on covering Sonic, and I'm recommending the Ditto more than that. If I say Cloud, I lose out on Greninja and also Sonic. And listen, I know my pit propaganda can get out of hand, but I'm not about to sit here and tell you they can beat Steve, Kazuya, and me Gun. This Aegis pick does have precedent though, notably Mr. E, who's working on a secondary Aegis, which I'm honestly really curious to see how it works, if it eventually ever does. We haven't really seen it at any majors yet.
Young Link!
A bit of a change with this one. To answer the question of Young Link's best secondary, you must answer a question of my own. Do you want to have fun with Smash, or do you want to win? Me and my co-writer, Amber, have decided on one of 2 characters for this, Joker or Min Min. One of these is the lamest character in the game, a character which many viewers will simply just turn off a major stream if they make an appearance, a character that's basically a lazily slapped moveset and only one real move that's used constantly with a really lame neutral, and the other is Min Min.
Ganondorf!
Bloomy rank, official tier list, yeah, just the most recent one will work. Open link, here we go. Yeah, that makes sense. Alright, I found my answer. Thank you to the channel members Linksico, Luminosity, and Loco Soco. You guys are the best. If you want to support the channel, consider dropping a membership. It's only $5.99 and it helps me immensely.